Hello again. Welcome. If you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe. The purpose of my channel is to share with you the journey that I'm undertaking on battling stage 4 breast cancer. Um, each each episode, I basically try to cover something new, not just maybe an update on my cancer. Again, the trajectory of the tumor markers have been dramatically going down about 30 to 40%. Mid-April, I should have another set of tumor markers, blood being drawn, and hopefully all the positive efforts that I've been taking will continue showing such improvement. Again, I have a lump here that I'm kind of keeping track of. The lump had been kind of big. I would say a little bit bigger than an almond size about 3 weeks ago. Now it's like a pea size, so it's definitely dramatically gone down. I'm keeping track of it, and I think that would be a good physical marker for me to monitor whether my efforts have improved the cancer. Again, I do take tamoxifen. However, I also take supplements. My intention is in the near future developing a newsletter to share more details about some of the supplements that I'm taking, some of the research behind it, and also places where you can get it, perhaps even dosages, ways to incorporate it into your diet, and the like. Also, alternatives being perhaps even changing the types of clothing that you're wearing, alternatives to what you're cooking on, and also perhaps even growing your own food, how to increase the yield, reduce pests, things like that, because I believe that diet is very important in battling cancer. I generally, diet-wise, I don't follow a specific diet. Like I'm not strict keto or carnivore or any of the other ones. I kind of take it as generally I've been reducing the amount of carbs, not necessarily getting rid of them entirely, but also reducing sugars, and any refined sugar is gone, or pretty much gone. Now, occasionally I'll have a treat here and there, things like that, but generally I don't indulge in any of that stuff. Also, trying to reduce the enriched flours and enriched, the grains, the processed foods and your beef jerky type thing and things like that. I've tried to eliminate from my diet. I've lost some weight. That was definitely something that is very noticeable. I'm actually a pretty good weight from my height. I've never been really a heavy person. I've always been athletic, but I will say that changing the diet, I've reduced my weight to the point where I'm back to a weight that I'm more used to having. Now that it was an area of concern for my medical team, to make sure that I don't reduce too much, because it can quickly get out of hand for cancer patients and stuff. But I don't think that that's what's I'm not there. It has to do with my diet. The purpose of this particular video is to discuss more of the stressor of financial issues when you're dealing with cancer. I will say the last couple weeks I did take off on posting any videos, and part of it was I've been dealing with a lot of stress, concerns over my finances. I do work in IT, but of course, as people know about the market and just layoff factors and employment and things like that, we're in flux here, and so I have concerns, and so I needed to take some time to revise my resume, just deal with my own emotions. That's a great concern of mine. I know that the financial burden when you're dealing with cancer, I think that it affects the majority of cancer patients, because it is super expensive. Again, I cannot stress enough, for those who do not have cancer, it would be really important for you to have the philosophy, health is wealth. The expense of battling cancer is very high, and depending on the stage, it's even higher then. And there's things that you can do to help with it, but it is a challenge if you're battling cancer like myself and you're working. Now, at times, and I work in IT, so at times I actually work, I take on even extra work. And it's because of the expense, trying to cover for everything. I do have a farm that a small farm. I enjoy my animals, so I try to, supplement my income whenever I can, so I can pay for their care and just cover everything. But some of the steps that you can take, other than, having steady employment, is definitely setting up an emergency fund, trying to keep that fund going, try to manage the expenses that, your premiums, if you're, you might be, if you get medical care through your company, that's great. If you have to fund it yourself, it's a challenge. So trying to keep up with those premiums. So it's very, very important to have that steady income. I fortunately, right now, I work remote. That's a lifesaver. So I'm doing everything I can to stay remote because, well, I work in IT, so that makes it beneficial. But it's actually quite important for me to remain remote. So I do focus on keeping my resume up to date because I'm a contractor. So, but the medications that are involved with fighting cancer are extremely expensive. So it's very important to contact those companies and get copays. Work with your medical team to, find solutions to lower that cost. Also, the supplements can be kind of pricey, so doing your research on finding the best prices out there, whether it's your Amazon, your eBay, Walmart, although I don't get as much from Walmart, Etsy, and also direct from people that are that have their own Shopify type stores and stuff. But I do follow a lot of people who offer different kinds of supplements, and I hone in on the supplements that have had a lot of research involved, a lot of proven documentation that this is helpful for cancer. So I don't like take a ton of supplements all over the place. I have a targeted few that are that I'm able to afford, that I'm able to source where it's cheaper. Again, I'm going to have a newsletter set up so I can share more details about dosages, where I've found some of these alternatives, how to manage the cost, and kind of avoid the pitfalls that are out there on when there are some supplements. All of a sudden the price of the supplement just goes through the roof, and how do you find the supplement at a decent price? Some of it has to do with the packaging. I can tell you that. So, but again, I'm not going to share that specific on YouTube because of all the restrictions on this platform. I'm trying to grow my channel, so I'm thinking of having an X account associated with this, that you can access the newsletter and perhaps get monetized and share specific supplements there and stuff, and share more details of the positives. I will say that the majority of the supplements or alternatives I've been taking, I have nothing but positives to actually say. So other than maybe a couple side effects of things, generally, I haven't had those kind of side effects. Now, traditional medication, yeah, the tamoxifen, I'm having fatigue. So I have to deal with that and manage that kind of stress from the fatigue, because I get very stressed out when I'm fatigued, because I'm a go-getter. I like to do stuff and get things done, and I just can't. I don't have the energy to get as much done in the time frame that I have, which is extremely frustrating. So anyways, the other thing that when you're dealing with the financial issues, when you're battling this, is depending on where you're at as far as the severity. Like, I realize that if you were in the condition of my mother, she was in the later stages and she was really struggling. She still tried to put one foot in front of the other, but she was not in the position of doing some of the things that I'm saying. So this may or may not apply to you. But things like your employment, some people just cannot work. So I realize that. Also, the other advice I have is doing side gigs, whether selling things on eBay, maybe if you live in the city, you can, do Uber or Uber Eats or something like that. Or in my case, I'm trying to come up with other, like setting up a newsletter, offering guidance there. Also trying to set up possibly side businesses, other businesses, and supplementing my income that way. I do believe that sometimes you can get in a rut when you're working for other companies. You're kind of at the mercy of other companies. So sometimes if you have that drive to set up a business, um, you know, that might be a good way to put your efforts and energies into in as you're battling this, or you're helping someone who's battling this. Now, the other option is to try and raise money. So your GoFundMe, Give, Send, Go, perhaps even through churches. That is another option, setting up like a GoFundMe campaign and, try to raise money that way, especially if you're unable to work or things like that. Maybe friends and family can help you set that up. I have a GoFundMe, and if you wanted to, donate, that was set up on my behalf. A friend of mine had set that up for me, so I would, appreciate any donation, assistance, because this is a very expensive endeavor, and that's part of the reason I have the YouTube channel, not just to share with everyone my journey, but to offer hope, and in the process perhaps getting monetized. I do wish that this social media and the options that more of the tech industry offers now and stuff was available when my mom was battling cancer. There's so many things that would have been so helpful in her battle. There wasn't nearly as many support systems out there. There wasn't a GoFundMe. There wasn't a Give, Send, Go. There wasn't, I think YouTube, I don't even think YouTube was even activated then. I think it was kind of in its very infancy. And and also the research, it was, limited on what you could find. So the alternatives were just not as readily available to people for them to find out about. But anyways, yeah, it's dealing with the financial side that is a huge stressor. So sometimes the lowering stress and finances goes hand in hand, especially for me. And so anyways, those are some of the solutions that I've come up with, and that I actually implement in my own battle here. Also, I will say, wherever you can reduce your expenses, try and find ways to curb those expenses. I know it's very difficult, especially with the inflation has just skyrocketed for the last few years. So everything's gone way up, and it seems like every time that you save, that money that you thought you saved a few years ago, you would have been able to save. And now all of a sudden that you're, suddenly spending a third more on your food and stuff. So, but again, I guess by eliminating certain processed foods out of your diet has really, helped curb some of that expense. Yes, natural foods and some supplements, it can be pricey, But if you kind of pace yourself, you know, stretch out your meals, you make sure you don't waste anything. Very important. And you know, I encourage everyone to really look at everything all encompassing. And again, for those who do not have cancer, and maybe you're taking care of a family member, or you know, a friend, or whatever, understand that health is wealth. So yes, you can save in a 401k and everything else, but like my mom, she wasn't able to use her 401k. She was too young. She wasn't able to even take advantage of any of that. So it's very important to, you know, really look at those factors, your food choices, your clothing choices, your choices of activity, being outside. I am very happy that RFK Jr. has been put in a position where perhaps he can really make America healthy again. It's going to take some time. I know, you know, it'd be nice to have everything done right away, have them improve the quality of the food, the processed foods, the quality of just our overall food supply, and you know, trying to you know, kind of whip these companies into shape. I don't think the issue is the farmers or anything like that. The issue has to do with just, you know, really opening up America to improving the quality of the food. I don't know if food was a direct, you know, reason why my cancer just grew. Of course, my understanding about cancer is that everyone has a cancer cell that grows. It's just that if you don't have cancer, you're not diagnosed with cancer, that means that your body was able to get rid of that bad cell. But for those of us who have cancer, our bodies didn't get rid of some of those bad cells, and then they kept multiplying. And so the any way to reduce the exposure to those bad elements that, you know, encourage growth of bad cells is just advantageous. And if you can get your body to trigger and reduce that, get rid of these bad cells, that's even better. Ironically, one of the ways that I know some people have used, I haven't used it in full force yet, but I do intermittent fasting. However, I don't necessarily do it like days on end. I might do it for like almost a day, not quite a day. But there are people who have gotten their body to turn over those bad cells and grow new cells and encourage the growth of continued growth of new and healthy cells by intermittent fasting. And perhaps that would be something on the horizon that if I really want to knock this out of the park, that might be something that I will, you know, pursue. I have to be careful because I don't want to lose too much weight, and everything, and also, you know, dealing with energy, your energy level. But anyways, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Again, I will have a newsletter, and I'll probably announce that once I have that all put together, and try to make it so that you can access it, and perhaps set up like an email campaign where I can mail it out to people, and finding new solutions or new research to back up some of the alternatives, perhaps even some of the new treatments out there that seem to be focused on, actually beating cancer, and perhaps it's showing promise, and maybe following some of the news coming out of RFK Jr.'s efforts. So I think that might be a newsletter that I might create, and but it probably won't be for next couple weeks. Perhaps even sooner. I might surprise myself, but again, it has to do with my energy and just having the time to focus and get that done is, it's just something that I've got to work on. And but I think that's what I'm going to do. Again, because YouTube is so restrictive, and I don't want to say anything that puts my channel in jeopardy, or doesn't fit within their parameters. But anyways, thank you for coming, and I will have another video soon. I might show some of my animals or something like that, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. Maybe go out in the garden as that's growing. I have a small greenhouse, so I've got to get that going, and I'll probably be doing that here in just a few minutes. But anyways, thank you, and until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.